Present.
Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Have we asked ourselves what truly matters in life? What is is our compass and guidepost in our life's journey. How can we know what to do with our lives without knowing what truly matters in life? What is the most essential thing in life? What is it that we want to achieve in life? What makes our life more meaningful? Why are we doing what we are doing? Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Is life all about wealth and treasure? Is life all about fame and glory? Is life all about positions and power? Or isn't life about love and service? Didn't we notice who are the most happy people? They are the ones who forget about themselves. They are the ones who serve without counting the cost. The most happy people are those who serve others. Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Our life on earth is short. We live on borrowed time. If an opportunity comes to help a needy person, do it quickly. To care as Jesus does for beggars and lepers, tax collectors and prostitutes. To care for strangers and enemies, criminals and victims, the old and the young. Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Have we asked ourselves what truly matters in life? What is our compass and guidepost in our life's journey? How can we know what to do with our lives without knowing what truly matters in life? What is the most essential thing in life? What is it that we want to achieve in life? What makes our life more meaningful? Why are we doing what we are doing? Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Is life all about wealth and treasure? Is life all about fame and glory? Is life all about positions and power? Or isn't life about love and service? Didn't we notice who are the most happy people? They are the ones who forget about themselves. They are the ones who serve without counting the cost. The most happy people are those who serve others. Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Our life on earth is short. We live on borrowed time. If an opportunity comes to help a needy person, do it quickly. God, life becomes meaningful and challenging. Life becomes meaningful and challenging.
And we have a new president. He used to be the general of the army. So 2 years ago, before or during the time of COVID-19, because it was locking down around Egypt, so they be using that time to make a new bridges and the new highways and a new development of the city. So now you are going to see New Cairo after the development because of COVID-19, because of locking down. If you look to the right side, this is a military stadium. Because all this construction, it's controlled by military, not civilian. Because if it's a civilian construction, it will take time. So if you want to make a new highway with a civilian government or the civilian company, you are going to take 5 years. But with an army company, they are going to take it within 6 months or 1 year. So all this is new construction, and the new highways and the extension here, it's controlled by an army company, not a civilian company. So now we are driving around New Cairo, as we can see to the right and the left side. Here in Egypt, we have about 27 states or 27 provinces. We divide Egypt into south, north, east and west according to the River Nile. And as we are going to see, the River Nile now is considered as the longest Nile. It's about 6,000 kilometers, starting from south, from Uganda. and running through 9 African countries, like Kenya, like Somalia, like Tanzania, like Sudan, until it's floated into the Mediterranean Sea. And this is what we call it in the Bible as the land of Goshen, where we discover the basket of baby Moses. But nowadays, we call it as a delta, which is a very green part of Egypt, where we can see the cotton farm and the rice farm. Because they need a lot of water, so you're going to see it around the delta or the land of Goshen. But the two major cities we have in Egypt, among the 27 states we have, it's Cairo and Giza. What is the difference between Cairo and Giza? It's the Nile. So Cairo, as we are now, it's on the east bank of the Nile. We are going to go to Giza because your hotel is located around Giza. And the Franciscan Chapel to celebrate our Holy Mass, it's in Giza. And tomorrow morning, we are going to visit Giza pyramids. So Giza, it's on the west bank of the Nile. So what is the difference between Cairo and Giza? It's the Nile. Drive to the east, it's Cairo. Drive to the west, it's Giza. This is why tomorrow in Giza, we can visit pyramids. Because what is the meaning of a pyramid? Pyramid, it means two. And in ancient time, they believe about sunset and sunrise. Sunset, which means death, sunrise, which means life. So in ancient time, all the palaces of the king, it was built on the east. And all the tombs, like pyramid, it was built on west. So don't say Cairo pyramid. Always we can say Giza pyramids. So this is what we are going to heading afternoon. We are heading into Giza. So we are going to cross the river Nile to drive to Giza city. If you look to the left side, all this is it's an army construction. So this is an army club and the army cafeterias and the army restaurants and the army sportive club for the army family members. They can go there. This is for free for army soldiers and the army members. But if you are civilian, you must buy a ticket to go inside. So this is all what you can see to the left side. It's an army complex or army building or army clubs. So we're still driving around New Cairo, which is considered as a rich class area. So if you want to live around here, no rent. You must buy an apartment or buy a house to live around New Cairo. Then when we go to Old Cairo now, we are going to see the poor class area. Then when we go to Giza, to drive around the countryside of Giza tomorrow, we are going to see the middle class area. So these are the three classes we have in Egypt, rich, middle, and poor. So now we are driving around the richer class area around New Cairo. So as you know that all over Egypt, we have about 100 million. This is the main population all over Egypt. But in Cairo and Giza together, how many million we have? We have about 30 million, 30. But during the rush hour and the traffic jam and the working days, we can add another 5 million. They can come from different states to work in the capital. So during the rush hour, we have about 35 million in the city. In Egypt in general, we have 2 days for a weekend, Friday and Saturday. So our week starts today, which is Sunday. So from the Sunday until Thursday, it's working days and it's much traffic. So this is why you can find today it's a traffic, because today it's at the beginning of the week. But traffic here starting from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning. So before we continue, if you look to the left side, you are going to see that this is Al Baroun Palace. Who is Al Baroun? This is one of the Belgian engineer who make the design of New Cairo. So you can see his name written on the Hotel Baroun, B-A-R-O-N. So this is Al Baroun Palace. Now it's like a museum to visit it from inside. And this is a Belgian engineer who make the design of New Cairo. So this is why you can see that New Cairo, it looks like European because it's a Belgian architect. So this is the end of New Cairo because now we are heading into modern Cairo, which is overlooking the Nile.
جايز نذكر عايزين نغير الساعة دي والنبي عشان بس الناس هتبص عليها.
They might think it's already
Yeah, this is what I'm telling him to change it.
So to make sure and to not confused, so that watch or that time in the bus, it's not correct. The correct time now in Egypt, it's 12:30 p.m. So you can set your cell phone or your watches on the Egyptian time. It's 12:30. So the one in the bus is not correct. So the bus driver, he will fix it. But now it's 12:30. So if you look to the right side, this is used to be a palace for our President Mubarak before. But because you know that Mubarak, after the revolution, he was in jail. Then he passed away. He died 2 years ago during COVID-19. So this is used to be his palace. But now it's controlled by the government. And our president now, if we have any conferences, they can make it here in that palace. But not as a residential palace. It's not anymore. So this is the development of the new highway to the airport. Now it's much cleaner, it's a lot of flowers, it's more designed, and it's much better condition. 2 years ago, it was not clean, if you remember that. And to the left side, all this is, it's a government building. To the left side, government offices.
ننزل على المطعم ده منين بقى؟ ولا نروح على المطعم ده منين؟
والله على مصر القديمة.
على الكورنيش؟ من عند البنزينة؟ معرفش ايه اللي خلاه حاجز مكان حاجز أحسن في التجمع.
So if you look to the left side, you are going to see the Cairo Stadium, because as you know that Egypt, it's very famous for soccer, for football. So to the left side, this is the biggest stadium we have in Cairo, which is Cairo Stadium. And to the left side, this is still an army clubs and army building to the left side. So this is all for the army families and the army members. They can go inside for free. They have a nice swimming pool and sportive club. And to the left side, this is a museum representing the war between Egypt and Israel, which is 6 October 1973. Because you remember that Sinai, it was taken by Israel on 1967. But on 6 October 1973, which is a 6 days war, we have a war between Egypt and Israel. And the Egyptians, they managed to get Sinai back to be controlled by Egypt government. Since that time until now, we have a peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. So after we crossing the bridge in front of you, now we are heading into Old Cairo. And that building to the that structure to the left side, this is a Cairo International Fair. Because every year on March, we have exhibitions from different countries to show their products here. So to the left side, that construction or that structure, this is a Cairo International Fair.
بعد مصر القديمة إن شاء الله.
بعدين مصر القديمة.
بعد الغدا مصر القديمة.
And to the left side, this is a main mental hostel around Cairo to the left side. So it's a mental hostel to the left side. And now we are crossing that bridge to crossing from New Cairo to Old Cairo. Then from Old Cairo, we are drive to Modern Cairo overlooking the Nile to have our lodge together overlooking the Nile.
قلت لهم قلت احنا واقفين في الكمين بتاع احنا في عند المطار.
So we're still driving around the army clubs to the right and the left side. So all this is, it's an army building to the right and the left side. So now when we are driving around all the Cairo, we are going to drive around a city. We call it as a dead city or the city of dead. Why we call it as a city of dead? Because here in Egypt, we are a Muslim country. Each family, they have their own tomb where they can bury it under the ground. And we have a guardsman who look after the tomb and we pay him monthly. But if the family died, no one pay to the guardsman any money. He do some business. What he can do, he make a small room on the top of the tomb and he can rent it for the poor people to be cheaper than if they can rent an apartment in the city. So this is why we call it as a city of dead, because the dead, they are buried under the ground and the city is above the tomb. But as we said, don't worry, they not live anymore with ghosts. Because if you go inside the rooms, you can find satellite, you can find dishes, you can find computers, cell phone. So all the facilities for the modern life, you are going to see it inside the rooms. But the government nowadays, they found that this is not a good looking, not a good view of the people to live around the tombs. So they make for them a new compound and a new complex and a new apartments. So while we are driving around all the churches after launch, we are going to see a new construction. It's made by the government for the people to move to those new apartments. But it's not for free. They are going to pay a little bit deposit, and every month they are going to pay something for about 20 years to own an apartment instead of living around the dead city. So if you look to the left side, what you can see, this is a city of dead, or the dead city. So these are cemeteries, and the people, they live on the top of the tombs. How many million they live around the dead city? It's around 3 million they live around the dead city. But this is not safe area even for the Egyptian to go inside, because the people who selling drugs and robbers, they live around this area. And as I told our group before, that every Friday we have a market here, we call it as a Friday market. So during your accommodation in Egypt for 4 days, if you lost your cell phone, your camera or any value, you can come here, they can sell it cheaper every Friday than if you bought it from home, from Manila. So here we have a Friday market for the stolen stuff. So this is in case if you lost something, you will find it here every Friday. So we're still driving around the dead city. You can imagine that it's a huge city. It's about 3 million they live around the dead city, or the city of dead. So the government, after they give the people who live around here a new apartments, they are going to destroy all these cemeteries, and they are going to transfer the bones, if they still having bones under the ground, to another cemeteries outside of Cairo, and they are going to make a new highways and a new roads. So within 2 years, if you are going to come again within 2 years, you're not going to see the city of dead. You are going to see new highways and a new construction. So now we are driving around all the Cairo, so you can see how it looks different between modern Cairo or new Cairo and old Cairo. So the structure and the building, it looks different. So this is considered as a homeless area or the poor class area. So some of them still used as a cemetery, and some of them not active anymore, and they make the houses or the rooms on the top of it. So now we are approaching to the castle of Saladin. So if you look in front of you, you are going to see a big mosque in front of you. This is a mosque of Muhammad Ali, and this is the same style like the blue mosque or Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. So who's Muhammad Ali? Muhammad Ali is not the boxer. It's the Turkish ruler at the beginning of the Ottoman period here in Egypt. So Muhammad Ali, he started the Ottoman Empire. Then it was continued by his sons and his grandsons. The last grandson of Muhammad Ali, it was King Farouk. But in 1952, the Egyptian, they make a revolution against the kingdom, and Egypt, it was converted to be a republic. So since 1952 to 2023, we are a republic, and we have about 6 or 7 presidents. So if you look to the right side now, you are going to see the mosque of Muhammad Ali, and this is the same style like the blue mosque or Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. That mosque, we call it as an alabaster mosque, because Muhammad Ali using the alabaster of Giza pyramid to build that mosque. And as you know that the alabaster, it's different than marble, and it's a very famous material for the Christians, because in the Bible we have a lady, we call it as Maria Magdalene. She washed Jesus' feet by a jar made out of alabaster. So the alabaster, it's a very translucent material and very light material. And if you put a candle inside, the light is going through. So this is what we call it as an alabaster. So to the right side, this is the alabaster mosque of Muhammad Ali. But outside, you are going to see a castle. That castle is for who? For Saladin, who wants to protect Egypt from the Crusaders. So he chose a higher area here in Cairo to build his own castle, to using the small holes for using the arrows to killing the enemy without seeing them. This is it was in about 1176 after Christ. Then Saladin, he died in 1193. So after his death, where he was buried, he's buried at Syria. And if you look to the left side, you are going to see a mountain. That mountain, we call it as Al-Muqattam mountain. Muqattam, which means cutting. So that mountain, it was used as a quarry to cut the limestone to build the Giza pyramid. So tomorrow when we go to visit Giza pyramid, all the stones, which is the limestone, it's come from that mountain, which is Al Muqattam mountain. But now you can see some cars going up to the mountain because we have a very nice city. For the rich club there, you can see a very nice view of Cairo and Giza city. And to the right side, you can see the castle of Saladin and the mosque of Muhammad Ali, which dated back to the 19th century. So now we are in Old Cairo. So this is considered, this is all considered as Old Cairo. So now I can show you the open market, which is a Friday market for selling the stolen stuff in case.
Pag mawala ako talaga, hanapin. Adyo.
I know.
Pag mawala ako rin sa kanila, hinahanap ko yung kaibigan ko.
لا انا خايفه اسمع الحش بس نلحق ان شاء الله. نلحق حتى لو دخلت 3.
So to the right side, this is supposed to be also an Ukai market to the right side. And to the left side, you're going to see that this is a Friday market for selling the stolen stuff and also for selling pets like domestic cats, like dogs, snakes, cobra, birds. You can find it here every Friday. So we're still driving around that city or the city of that.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
I was taking a video, it's not cool.
She did not turn it off. She did not push the button.
So my girlfriend Bina, if you look to the left side, you are going to see the Roman aqueduct. That Roman aqueduct, it was connected by water pipes from the Nile to the mosque of Muhammad Ali to use it for washing. Because you remember or you know that the Muslim, before they go inside the mosque, they must do ablution. So that Roman aqueduct, it was connected by water pipes from the Nile to the mosque of Muhammad Ali to use it for washing, but it's not working anymore. And behind the Roman aqueduct, it will be the Dead City or the city of Dead. So within few minutes, we are going to cross or we are going to drive overlooking the Nile.
You took some pictures.
Ewan ko na eh.
Hey guys, she can imagine. She can look at the.
On.
This is a problem if you don't sleep well.
Hold on.
She didn't sleep well, so.
AM last night, but we got here around 4 a.m. I know.
So you're only able to sleep for 2 to 3 hours before being picked up by the bus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shower,
get dressed, and then run to the bus.
The slowest in the land.
Now, keep looking in front of you. So that building in front of you, this is a new construction. We call it as a National Museum of the Egyptian Civilization. And this is one of the new museums just opened 1 year ago. And you remember that 1 year ago we have a big event for moving 22 royal mummy from the ancient Egyptian museum, as we can visit tomorrow, to that new museum. So if you look in front of you, this is a new museum. We call it as a National Museum of the Egyptian Civilization. And 22 royal mummy, it was moved from the ancient Egyptian museum to that new museum. And it was a big event because you remember that the coaches taking the name of the mummies with a pharaonic style. So it was a big ceremonial around here. It was 1 year ago. And the very famous mummy inside that museum, it's the mummy of King Ramses II. Who's King Ramses? He was probably the pharaoh during the time of Moses. King Ramses II, he ruled Egypt Egypt for 67 years, and he died when he was 100 years old. King Ramses II nowadays, we call him as a busy king. Why he's busy? Because he married for 52 wives, 200 son and daughter. So one wife for each week, so he was a busy king. But the principal wife of King Ramses II, it was Queen Nefertari. Because in ancient time, we having the two names of Queen Nefer. We have Nefertiti and Nefertari. Nefertiti, it's the stepmother and the mother-in-law of King Tutankhamun, as we can see his treasures tomorrow in the Egyptian Museum. Nefertari, it's the principal wife of King Ramses II. Nefer, it's an ancient title which means beautiful. So Nefertiti, which means the beautiful Titi. But don't laugh because I understand what is Titi in Tagalog. So Titi is the name of a queen in ancient time. Nefertari, which means beautiful Tari. So Titi and Tari, two different names for two different queens. But among the 52 wives King Ramses II he married some of his sisters and some of his daughters. So in ancient time, it was allowed to the king to marry his sister or marry his daughter to represent royal blood. So now we are driving overlooking the new museum. So this is the National Museum of the Egyptians. The first one, it's the Ancient Egyptian Museum, as we can visit it tomorrow, which is dating back to about 120 years. That one, it's a new museum. We call it as the National Museum of the Egyptian Civilization, just opened 1 year ago. There we have a newest museum. It will be the biggest one all over the Middle East. And 2 years ago, while you are driving around this area, it was not clean and the street, it was only 2 lanes. But now because of the museum, they make the street much wider and they developed that place. So this is only 2 years ago during the time of COVID-19. So this is all it's controlled by compound or a private apartments. It's not government, it's controlled by private. The difference between the government and the private, it will be the prices. So if you'd like to buy from a private company, it will be very expensive. Controlled by the government, it will be cheaper and it will be easy that you can pay a deposit and every month you can pay something for many years, like 20, 25, the private constructions. So now we are going to cross the Nile or driving overlooking the Nile. So few minutes we are going to see the river Nile. So you remember I told you that for the people who live in the dead city or around the dead city, the government, they make for them a new compound. So if you look to the left side, this is a new construction, still under construction. It's controlled by the government to make a new compound or a new complex for the people who live around the dead city to move to that new compound. But still under construction, so within 1 year or 2 years it will be finished and they can move to those new compounds. So you can see to the left side, this will be the new construction and the new compound. It's made by government for the people who live around the dead city. So within 1 year or 2 years, it will be finished. And if you look to the right side, this is an excavations because all the Cairo, it was disappeared because of earthquake or it was destroyed because of an earthquake. So when they did the excavations under the ground, they discovered the ruins of all the Cairo. So all what you can see to the right side, this is an excavation to discover the ruins of all the Cairo. You remember we said that the people who live around the dead city, they are robbers, but now the government, they try to help them to work. So they make for them some factories to the left side, like for handmade statues, handmade potteries, handmade stuff, so they can sell it to the markets to make money. So all these is factories, it's made by the government to help the people who live around the dead city. They can make money by legal way. So this is all, it's a new factories for potteries and for jars and for statues as a decoration for the houses.
Yeah, like bricks.
Yeah, like bricks, yeah.
Nice.
So all this is to the left side, it's controlled by government. So after we crossing the bridge in front of you, now we can see the river Nile.
The Sahara is
It's a desert,
it's
yeah.
a desert. The meaning of
It's a
Sahara is
desert.
So when you say Sahara Desert, you'll be in desert. So now we are approaching to modern Cairo. And why we call it as modern Cairo? Because the streets there, it's not by names, it's by numbers. So it looks like a European style. And most of the ambassadors and most of the embassies here in Egypt, it's located around modern Cairo. So now we are abroad, Cairo, which is overlooking the Nile. So if you look to the right side, you are going to see the River Nile. And tomorrow evening, you are going to enjoy the cruise for 2 hours with a show for the belly dancer and the Turkish dance overlooking the Nile.
Awesome.
ما سألنيش عارف لو ياخد رأيي مثلا أقول له خلينا في التجمع.
Walang budget.
التجمع طبعا على مصر القديمة على طول.
Saan ba nagmamahal?
يلا خير إن شاء الله.
Oh, really? That's a kid right there.
Yeah.
It's a motorcycle.
So if we continue driving to the right side, this is a drive to drive to Giza and also to New Giza. So after we finish our tour around modern Cairo and old Cairo, we will drive to Giza city because the hotel is in Giza and the Franciscan Chapel to celebrate our Holy Mass is in Giza.
Como te la queman los culés.
So to the right side, this is a cruise ship. You are going to have it tomorrow evening to have the show for the belly dancer and the open buffet dinner. So this is a cruise ship for tomorrow evening for the belly dancer show.
الدنيا عملت بينا حتى المغرب. أنا على عدد طريق خلاص ماشي.
اسمها ايه؟
رايد برونز. طيب ماشي. ماشي هبقى. ماشي بس حضر الحاجة بقى عشان نطلع عشان نمشي. يلا. طب يلا سلام. ما أنا جاية بقى. بقول لك أهو. بقول لك رايد برونز ايه رايد برونز غيروا اليافطة ذا رايد برونز.
لازم واحد على اليمين.
والله ما اعرف هو كوبري وهدي على اليمين هتلاقيه.
So upon arrival to the restaurant, you take some nice photos overlooking the Nile. We are going to have approximately 45 minutes to have our lunch together because after that we need to drive to Old Cairo to do and to finish Old Cairo before 4 o'clock because all the sightseeing here is closed by 4. So we need to have a quick lunch, then we can continue. Continue driving to Old Cairo.
Love gives deeper meaning to everything in life. When we feel loved, we feel most alive. When we love others, we are connected with God. Life becomes meaningful and challenging. Have we asked ourselves what truly matters in life? What is our compass and guidepost in our life's journey? How can we know what to do with our lives without knowing what truly matters in life? What is the most essential thing in life? What is it that we want to achieve in life? What makes our life more meaningful? Why are we doing what we are doing? Love gives deeper meaning to everything trusted with God, life becomes meaningful and challenging. Is life all about wealth and treasure? Is life all about fame and glory? Is life all about positions and power? Or isn't life about love and service? Didn't we notice who are the most happy?
To remember all what I'm saying. So if you'd like to use the Wi-Fi, in case if you'd like to check your messages, so the password you can search under the name of Royal2, and the password is Royal in small letters, ROYAL, then at, like Yahoo at 123. So Royal in small letters, ROYAL